Hey peeps, welcome back to my channel. My name is Drusilla Shay, if you don't know already. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about what to wear to black tie events for the fall and the winter. Now, if you're interested in what to wear to a black tie event during the spring and the summer, make sure that you stay tuned and subscribe because I will be dropping a video on that down the line. Without further ado, let's get into it. According to Savile Row Company, black tie is a formal dress code for evening occasions such as dinner parties, award ceremonies, milestone birthdays, or weddings. It is less formal than white tie, which is actually the most formal dress code, but it is more formal than business dress, and it is traditionally worn for events after 6 p.m. So we talking nocturnal. Normally when you go to a black tie event, you see men wearing these fancy suits or, you know, nice flashy blazers or tuxedos. But we here to figure out what exactly do women wear? Like, what is the standard? What is the norm? What is acceptable? I will be getting into the kind of attire, such as the kind of styles that you wear, but also something that's really important to stay tuned for is the discussion on fabrics, textures, colors. All of that plays a role in picking out what to wear for a black tie event. So just make sure that you don't clock out of this video before the end. When it comes to black tie, what you're going to see women wear the most is a good old floor length dress. I'm mostly talking about gowns. There are floor length dresses out there that are casual. Take a summer maxi dress, for example. It's definitely not going to cut it for a black tie event. So I just want to make it clear that when I say floor length dresses, I mean dressy dresses, gowns, things that are more formal. I will say that I have seen women get away with cocktail dresses at black tie events. It's really actually not a rare occurrence these days because some people do blur the lines when it comes to dress code. So you might see that one or, you know, two people wearing a cocktail dress, something that isn't necessarily floor length. But if you are actually trying to stick to the dress code, I would really recommend something that is floor length because you're really going to give off more of a formal vibe. Now, there are some really dressy cocktail dresses that it can pass at a black tie event. Some people are a little bit more strict about sticking to a dress code. So if you want to respect that, try your best to keep the cocktail dresses to the side if possible. I know that some people cannot always afford to buy a new dress. Evening gowns can be very expensive, so I get it. But cocktail dresses do tend to look a little bit more casual, usually because they're cut a little bit shorter. Sometimes they may be a little bit more playful. So back to floor length dresses. Now, floor length dresses can vary in styles, in silhouettes, in colors and fabrics, all those things. There are mermaid cut dresses. There are A-line dresses. There are so many different kinds of styles and cuts. You really don't have many limitations there. Now, before we move on to the next thing that you can wear to black tie events for the fall and the winter, just know that when it comes to floor length dresses, it definitely also includes ball gowns. When ball gowns are mentioned, you probably think about like a quinceañera dress. Very big, very fluffy, very princessy. And it could get like that, but not all ball gowns look very big and princessy. Some are more toned down. It's not necessarily always going to be like a super dramatic thing when you search for ball gowns. So now we've gotten the most common attire for black tie events for women out of the way. But there are a couple more things that you can get away with. Times have changed when it comes to dress codes, so more things are considered acceptable. One of them being formal jumpsuits. They can look very formal depending on the style. You have jumpsuits that have capes. You have jumpsuits that are nice and wide leg. You have jumpsuits that just look really fancy. They come with the heat, they come with the fire, they come with the flavor, and you really wouldn't look at it and say, that's so casual, just because it has a pant feature, it doesn't always have to look casual. So those are one of the things that you can also get away with. But if you are going to wear a jumpsuit, you got to come with it. Don't get a basic jumpsuit. If we're not going to do the gown, let's at least come with, you know, something that's really elegant where your attire will not be questioned in relation to the dress code. Similarly to a jumpsuit, something else that I have been also seeing some women wear are pantsuits. Anytime I say pantsuit, me personally, I think about Hillary Clinton. I just think presidential, but just know that pantsuits have also come a long way, just like jumpsuits. So it's a similar concept. You gotta bring the fire. There are some pantsuits that can be really fancy, but it may take a little bit more digging. Again, remember it's black tie, which is why I'm stressing come with some fancifulness. You just gotta dress it up the right way. You have to use nice accessories, something that, you know, got a little sparkle, but I'll get into that. I don't wanna jump the gun. If you're gonna opt for a pantsuit, you can get a suit that has like some nice lapels, you know, something with some satin in it, or maybe the whole suit is satin. Stuff like that upgrades the look so that it doesn't just look simply like business attire. The last suggestion that I would have for women for black tie events in the fall and in the winter are maxi skirts or mermaid skirts with dressy blouses. Now, this I would say is probably the most unconventional out of all of the things that I have mentioned. This one in particular has to be done very well. There are a lot of maxi skirts out there that are casual. When I say maxi skirts, I mean something that is very dressy. If you're gonna opt for a mermaid skirt, normally that does look a little bit more dressy as well. But if you are able to pair a maxi skirt or a mermaid skirt with a nice dressy top and you are able to do it well, sometimes people can't even tell that it's two separate pieces. Sometimes they think it's a whole set, it's a dress. When it comes to, you know, pairing a skirt and a top for a formal event, you definitely need to try to stick to things that look very fanciful, things that look very formal. I do have to drop in one benefit about having particular attire on during the fall and the winter seasons. When you have a long gown on that does not have a slit, when you have a pantsuit, when you have a mermaid skirt, and when you have a maxi skirt with no slit, all of these things are beneficial if you want to layer underneath. It's cold out in these streets. Sometimes even indoors it is still cold. So if you have on any of these things, ain't nobody else gonna be seeing underneath. You can wear leggings underneath. You gotta do what you gotta do to stay warm where you can. Just throwing that little tip out there. Black tie doesn't mean just wear black. You don't only have to wear black. What I recommend specifically in the fall and in the winter are colors that are more moody. Things like plums, burgundy, hunter green, olive, royal blue, navy blue. Also adding to the list gold, burnt orange and rust, mauve, smoky blue, and dark red. All of these colors still stand out. They're moody. They're perfect for the fall and the winter. Something else that's important to point out is when you look at evening gowns, you'll realize that a lot of them are solid. You don't see many prints, you don't see many patterns, you don't see too many combinations of loud colors. So just to be on the safe side, I would definitely lean more toward the solids, things that aren't extremely busy. Let's talk about fabrics and textures. If you remember from early in the video, it was mentioned that normally these events are held after 6 p.m. So normally there's some type of dim lighting. Take advantage of the sparkles, the sequins. And if you're not a sparkles sequins gal, I get you, but there is something about sparkles and sequins in the night that hits different. It shines like diamonds. If you are trying to figure out how do I dress up my outfit, right? Like how can I make it look more fancy? If you're wearing something like a pantsuit, for example, you can find a pantsuit that has sparkles, and I'm not saying something that looks cheap or kid-like, but something that has some type of fabric or some type of design that will pop in the night. If you can find yourself a sequin kind of blazer with your suit, you can definitely get away with. You got to take advantage. Now, there also are the ways to dress up your look, like accessorizing, shoes, but we'll get into that. Another kind of fabric that is great for the fall and winter formal events is velvet. It's smooth, it's rich, it looks classy, it looks fancy, and it's actually pretty warm. This is also a nice fabric to dress up your outfit. If your outfit doesn't automatically, you know, come with something that stands out, you can look for something that has a velvet texture. That way it's giving off a fancy vibe. While we're on the topic of velvet, if you know there's going to be some breeze or you're going to be outdoors, you can wear something like a velvet shawl. There is also the option of wearing a fur shawl. Those two things automatically look more classy, more bougie, so you don't have to worry about that clashing with the dress code. It will definitely fit in. Other fabrics that look great for black tie events are lace and silk. However, you definitely want to be mindful of which colors you're choosing in these fabrics, because depending on the color you choose, they can definitely look season specific. If you wear like a white lace, definitely not giving off fall vibes. If you wear a burgundy lace, now we're talking. Accessories are small, but they have such a big impact. Accessories is the icing on the cake. If you don't got the icing, you're bare. Obviously, everybody has their different tastes, but when it comes to black tie events in particular, you probably don't want to do something that is over the top dramatic. There's always a time and a place for those things, but when it comes to black tie, remember that these are formal kinds of events. So you want to do something that has a classy touch. You want to be fancy, but not extremely loud. Again, if you're looking to dress up something like your mermaid skirt and dressy top, or your pantsuit or your jumpsuit, accessories also play a big role. It's not only your earrings and your chain and your, you know, either your watch or your bracelet. Something like a belt might need to be added, right? Something that adds a little extra flair to your outfit and doesn't make it look so simple. But belts are very outfit specific, so you do have to be mindful. If you're wearing something like a skirt and top combo, then belts are perfect to tie the two of those pieces together. But again, be mindful of the kind of belt that you buy. You want to do something that's probably a little bit more simple, something that isn't too loud, nothing with too many prints and patterns on it. Also, belts can be appropriate for some evening dresses, but again, you have to gauge when it is appropriate. So for example, if your dress is more on the plain side, it has no designs, it's a fitted kind of a gown, and you just want to break it up a little, that's when you can bring like a small skinny waist belt, something that doesn't scream too much but is able to break up your outfit.
An accessory that I love with evening gowns are long gloves. Not only are these fashionable, but they're also functional in keeping your arms warm during the winter and the fall events. These are oftentimes worn with dresses that are strapless, dresses that are off the shoulder, and also spaghetti strap dresses.
And also when it comes to accessories, we got to talk about the bag. A lot of times you'll see women wearing clutches or small purses. You want to leave the everyday bag at home. Typically at these events, you don't have really big bags on you. Your bags are really small, dainty, you know, something that you could just carry in your hand. So just be mindful of that. Last but not least, you know we got to talk about the shoes. The shoes are going to have to be chosen based off of the kind of venue you're going to. Normally, black tie events in the winter and the fall are held indoors, but if you happen to be in a situation where it is outdoors, you also have to be mindful of the kind of floor you're going to be on. So if you're going to be on some type of grassy floor, on a field, on some dirt, on some cobblestone, please leave the skinny heels at home. We don't want no problems. We don't want our heels dug up in the ground, especially if you're going to be wearing something long. Bring something comfortable, a chunky small heel, but definitely, you know, you want to keep the shoes classy. If you are going to be doing a flat, make sure that it's a nice fancy flat, but if you can wear some sort of heel, wear the heel. Wear the heel. Heels automatically make something look dressy, especially if you're going to be going to a black tie event. Please, no sneakers, no slides, nothing that you can wear on a typical day. I'm not saying that you don't have to be comfortable. Definitely still choose something that you're going to be comfortable walking in, because if not, it don't matter what you're wearing. If you're not comfortable, everyone's going to see it, and that's what they're going to be paying attention to. Alrighty, y'all, so I hope that you found this video helpful. If you did, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up. I tried to cover as much as I can think of, but if I've missed anything, go ahead and leave your questions or comments down below. While you're there, please go ahead and join the family. Press that red subscribe button, please, pretty please. Also, please turn on that bell notification button so that anytime I post, you'll be up to date. Thank you so much for tuning in. God bless you, and I'll see you guys in my next video next Sunday. Deuces.